Today's Broncos Breakdown is presented to you by BetQL. Thanks to our friends, the #1 app to compare betting odds all season long. Check them out. Visit them at chatsports.com/BroncosQL. There you'll get 25% off their subscription service with the promo code ChatBroncos. All the information you need is in the comments and the description of this video. Time to get into our Broncos Breakdown. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson. It's yard sale time. It is time for your neighbor down the street to once again put all their junk out in the front yard and start selling, because unfortunately, that's what happens when you lose 3 straight games after winning the first 3. I'm going to give you 3 candidates, but I want to know off the top here, should the Broncos be major sellers? Type S for sell or N for nah. If you're selling, you're punting on the season, and that's a tough pill to swallow, especially for a 3-3 team. If I told you before the season started the Broncos would be 3-3, you probably wouldn't be too upset with that. Now, if I told you they lost 3 straight after winning 3 straight, that's where you get a little upset, and that's why we're having this conversation. The first name up, it's a tough one. Von Miller. Never wanted to have this conversation, but unfortunately, we've come to that point right now where when you're entering the final year of your contract, you're over 30, you're coming off a bad ankle injury a season ago, and you're having a great year this year, 4.5 sacks, you may look to move on from him. It's a tough conversation. It's not one you want to have. And at this point, Vic Fangio does not want to trade Von Miller because Fangio is desperate for wins. And that's a weird thing to say, and I realize that, but Fangio, he's on the hot seat. He knows that. He needs all the talent he can get. If the Broncos and Paton start just sending pieces away, that's not going to make his roster and his job any easier. They're going to lose more, which will make the decision to fire him at the end of the season, if it comes to that, a lot easier. So unfortunately, for the right price, yes, it's tough. It is. But if a phone call comes in, like it's Moneyball, and someone wants to talk to Paton about trading for Fangio, you have to answer the call. It's that simple. You have to at this point. I don't see this team turning it around in the next couple of weeks. They have a short week. They'll go to Cleveland, who also are 3-3, and are also having their own separate bag of issues, very injury-related. Unfortunately, A.J. Johnson's now out for the year, so you've lost your 2 inside linebackers, but that's beside the point here. You answer the phone. I'm not really sure what anyone would really offer for Von Miller. Probably like a 3rd-round pick. There's not really a reference point here for an older but, cornerstone pass rusher. I would guess a 3rd-rounder, and I think you look into taking it. But I'm not the GM. All right. If they were to get a call, here are some of the teams I think maybe would be interested. It's a bit of a crapshoot, honestly, but here are some teams that are playoff pushers, playoff bound, that could use some additional help and depth at that pass rusher spot. The Cowboys, they're off to a phenomenal start this season. Von Miller's from Texas, so it'll be a bit of a homecoming for him at least. And also, Von Miller is definitely not going to want to go to a team that's not contending. The Bucs, of course, the Bucs are in win now mode. They are happy to ship away future pieces if they can get themselves 2 straight Super Bowls. So to me, that makes sense. The 49ers, they're always banged up. So why not have John Lynch look into making another trade for a big Denver Bronco player? And then finally, the Seattle Seahawks. It's bizarre just because I don't know if they're in a weird spot with Russell Wilson hurt. I'm not quite sure what they are assessing for the upcoming future for them, but at the same time, I think Geno Smith can steer the boat a little bit to keep him alive and give him a playoff shot. So those are 4 rough teams right there. If you like them, let me know in the comments. If you got some other ideas, sound off as well. But would you trade away Von Miller? I've asked Broncos fans countless questions since I started doing the Broncos Breakdown. This one may be the biggest question I've ever asked. I'm curious to see what everyone's going to say. I don't expect it to be unanimous. T for trade, P for pass, down in the comments section. Thanks to BetQL once again, our presenting sponsor here on the Broncos Breakdown on today's video. They hook you up with 25% off their awesome subscription service. Check them out. Head over to the App Store, to the Google App Store, Google Play. I don't have an Android, so shame on me. Chatsports.com/BroncosQL, promo code ChatBroncos. Take a picture of the screen or head over to the comments or the description. All the information you need is down there for the #1 app that compares player props, spreads, total over-unders, you name it, they've got it. Check them out. Make some money this fall. Next trade candidate. This one's an easy one. Kyle Fuller. I'll help him pack. I hate packing. I hate moving. I did it like a few months ago. But I will come with my own boxes, my own tape, and I'll be moving boxes without hesitation. Because Kyle Fuller, he has got to go. I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. But first, if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe right now to the Broncos Breakdown. We're over 4,000. We'd love to get to 5,000 in the near future. So help us out. Subscribe if you have not already. So, like I was saying, though, Kyle Fuller. Here's why. It's really simple. He's been a flat-out bust this season. Paid sort of top-ish dollar, not too high, but you went out and you spent money on him. He played 2 snaps in Week 6. So this tells me 2 things. One, it's clearly a benching, okay? And that makes some sense. He was off for the last couple of weeks. You get Ronald Darby back. You switch it up. You roll with Darby, Callahan, and Surtain. Or it tells me the Broncos don't want him to get hurt. It's like a baseball. You see this way more in baseball. They know a trade's coming, so we're going to shut him down so he doesn't get hurt, and then we ruin our chances of trading him. Probably maybe a combination of both. But only Fangio would say no for 2 reasons. One, like I said for Miller, he needs all the help he can get. Even though Fuller has been disappointing, he worked with Fuller in Chicago. He's been an All-Pro. You know what he's capable of. You hope he can help you turn it around this season. But altogether, you got to trade him. You need to get something out of him, and you're not getting anything out of him and what you're paying him to play 2 snaps. So if he's going to go, here are 4 more teams like I did with Vaughn here that maybe are interested in making a move. I got the Seahawks and the Bucks again. They're just really banged up at secondary. They're really torched at the corner spot right now, and I think there are 2 contending teams, especially, of course, the Bucks, that would be happy to take a bite out of someone's salary cap and make a move and send away a 4th or a 5th, whatever it is for Fuller. Then I got the Packers. Big reason I got the Packers here is back when Fuller was on the Bears and his contract expired, he's a restricted free agent, the Packers wanted to sign him, and the Bears ultimately matched his offer, so he stayed in Chicago. But the Packers had interest at one point. Maybe they're interested, plus they're also pretty banged up at that corner spot, so it makes sense to me. And then finally the Ravens, a 5-1 team, top in the AFC, lost Marcus Peters before the season. They're looking to just sharpen all the edges right now. And I see 4 teams here. I see 4 coaches that would take a shot on Fuller. They know what he's capable of. And they think probably, hey, the skill set's there. He's a veteran. He won't need much catching up. We can get him up to speed. And that's why you trade him yesterday. That's why you just bite the bullet and you get out. It's funny because before the regular season started, I remember the final preseason game, GM George Paton came on the broadcast and said, we've gotten phone calls over our corners. I bet he wishes he traded Fuller back then, which would have made no sense back then. In hindsight's 2020. How could you trade Fuller before the season even started after signing him to that contract? But regardless, you're here now. Just, cut your losses and move on from him. So that's what I would be doing. If you want Kyle Fuller to be traded, please go ahead and like this video. I'm sure you do, because he's been burned this season. It hasn't been fun to watch. It's been pretty brutal, honestly. His stats haven't been pretty. He's lit up already 2 touchdowns, over 300 yards. So like this video. Guys, BetQL also has a great deal with their friends over at BetMGM, where you can get a free BetQL subscription that gives you inside knowledge. They rate their favorites bets 5 to 1 stars. All you got to do is deposit $10 at BetMGM. You play that $10 and boom, year-long free subscription for BetQL. Check them out, chatsports.com/BroncosMGM. Promo code ChatBroncos. Just like I said before, all the information you need is in the comments and the description of this video. My 3rd and final trade candidate right here, Melvin Gordon. I saw this earlier this week, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Javonte Williams, a couple things, has clearly established himself just as the better back right now. You're really, I think, hurting your offense at this point, forcing yourself to play Gordon, giving Gordon 8 to 10 carries a game. I'd rather see those carries go to Williams. And when you're entering the final year of his contract, you just get what you can for him. And that's what happens when you have a veteran back. I mean, Gordon's been in the league this is his 6th year now, and he's had a nice career. You look at the stats, over 5,500 yards, averaging 4.1 yards per carry. He's in his 2 years or 2+ years now in Denver, he's averaged like 4.7 yards per carry, so it's not too bad. 47 touchdowns. I think there's a lot of teams out there that would be very happy to send away a day 3 draft pick for a veteran back in a playoff push. Once again, I got 4 more teams laid out for you guys. Let's check them out right now. Carolina. This one's a little bit surprising. This whole list is. But I've seen the Panthers make a couple moves already this season, which signals to me they want to win right now. And McCaffrey's hurt, so sure, why not make a trade and just tighten up that running back room for the time being. Then you got the Patriots right there. I just haven't really been in love with this Patriots backfield. I know Bill Belichick loves Wisconsin running backs. Hello, James White. So, sure, make a trade for Gordon and try and put your team in contention at least. Belichick does not want to go 2 straight seasons missing the postseason. That'd have to be a first for him in quite some time. Yeah, and then I got the Dolphins next. They're just the worst in the NFL in rushing. I got the Miami Dolphins Today producer right now, R.C. Maxfield producing right now, and Gaskin's not been it. This is a bad Dolphins team, and I just put him on here because I bet Flores wants to be competitive again. And so he wants to keep his job and not be fired in year 3. And a good way to do that, improve the run game, help out your struggling quarterback, acquire a veteran back. And finally, the 49ers. They're just always hurt at running back. So if they're healthy right now, which they're not, you know they're not going to be healthy for the rest of the season in the next 11 games. So why not pick up another depth piece in Melvin Gordon? So I got those 4 teams. If you like those teams, if you disagree, whatever it may be, let me know in the comments section. While you're down there, who are you trading? Type VM for Von Miller, MG for Melvin Gordon, or KF for Kyle Fuller. I got these 3 players in a specific order for a reason. They are in an order I think you can get the most for them. So Von, you're going to get probably about a 3rd. I don't know. Melvin Gordon, probably about a 5th. Kyle Fuller, Gordon and Fuller are going to be similar. I don't know what the Fuller range is, the market's going to be like. He's really good. He's got a great career, but he's been horrible this year. So it's tough to gauge, but not going to be much. Let me know in the comment section which one you want to trade.